First, you'll want to download the data from Tracking 202 or Prosper 202 so we can upload it to the Tracking 202 Tools 202 application to analyze. So log into Prosper 202 or Tracking 202. Here we're using Prosper 202 as an example. Click on the Visitors tab and set your start and end date based on the amount of data and which data you want to analyze. Also set the PPC network account or unset it depending on if you want to use a larger set of data or a smaller set of data to analyze. You also want to make sure that Show Real Clicks is set for your visitors and not Show Converted Clicks or Show All Clicks, as we want to analyze all visitors that have visited your campaign. Click Set Preferences and then click Download to Excel. On some systems, this could take a while, as well as the downloading of the data itself. Just make sure once you have it downloaded, it is complete. You can do so by opening the file after it is downloaded and check to make sure there's not an error message inside of the file. Once you have it downloaded, you're ready to go. You can analyze the data from this point. Now we're going to use the data that we got from Tracking 202 or Prosper 202 to give us a feel for the day parting that we should be using, if we use it at all, on Google AdWords and the other tools, platforms you may be using and having this campaign run on. So if you select Browse and you select the data file that we just downloaded and hit Analyze, by default it is set to analyze by day of week and hourly grouping of 4 hours, which will mean that you'll get 6 different segments of the day: 0 to 4 a.m., 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and so on. This is by default. Google has a limit on the number of segments that you can parse the day into, and that limit is 6. So that's why it is selected a 4-hour grouping by default. And you can see from this data that there are several hours of the week that don't convert very well, and there's several hours of the week that do convert extraordinarily well compared to the average. These are all conversion ratio stats, which are a comparison of this time frame with other similar time frames looking at the conversion rate. So this is a comparison of conversion rates of this time frame compared to other time frames. So you can see that this one, it has 129. That means that it is 129% better than the average for other 4-hour time periods during the week of this data set that we're analyzing. And this one is 71%, which means it is about 29% worse than the average. So we may want to use these to directly set the bid multiplier on Google or the other platforms, or use it as a gauge of when we want to turn off bidding altogether. And hovering over any one of these areas, you'll see that it tells you the conversions, the clicks, the conversion rate, and the conversion ratio, as well as the delta confidence, which is the statistical analysis element that tells you how sure it is that this is different from the rest of the average cells on the page here. You can see also that there are several marked with a caret, and that means that there was not enough data to give a recommendation. So it has a little caret 100 because it assumes that you're just going to leave that at the default until more data is available to analyze. You can also see that several of these have different fonts and different colors. The darker red with the bigger font means that there's a higher confidence ratio uh, in the statistical analysis. You can see here this one is just a white background with a red number. This has a lower confidence for the statistical analysis. So this may or may not be a good number to use compared to this number, which it's 91% confident that this is a good recommendation, that you should not bid as much between 8 a.m. and 12 noon on Thursday. And that is the end of this video. Thanks for watching.